In fact, Alexander is ready to fight him, but Bruno doesn't want to be seen hitting such a small person and flees the scene like a coward. Alexander still follows him and, after requesting to be adults about this, he invites Bruno to the party he's throwing on Saturday because it would make Diane happy to see them get along. Meanwhile, Diane is in a car with her mother when she finally confesses that Alexander is her boyfriend and that she'd like to marry him someday. Nicole says she's supportive, but this seems to be a lie because her sudden mad driving reveals she's freaking out to the point that they almost crash against a bus. The day of the party, Bruno shows up and is perfectly civil, but Nicole sadly doesn't come. Monique's failing to do her job as usual, which means Alexander has to pick up some food trays and napkins from the kitchen himself. However, the box of napkins is on top of a tall cupboard, so Alexander has to put a bunch of books and a box on top of a stool to reach them. Unfortunately, the box slips and falls with the books, and now Alexander finds himself hanging from the edge of the cupboard. It's Bruno that finds him and makes fun of him as he screams Diane's name to get her to come and see this. Not wanting to be embarrassed in front of Diane, Alexander offers Bruno to solve this in a duel like real men and challenges Bruno to a ping pong match. Bruno accepts, so by the time Diane makes it to the kitchen, Alexander has been helped down and the two men pretend to be just chilling. In the meantime, Nicole expresses her worries about Diane to Philippe, who had already guessed she and Alexander were dating. Philippe doesn't understand why Nicole is worried since he has a disability as well and they're happy together, but Nicole thinks it's not the same because Philippe's disability doesn't show. This double standard upsets and hurts Philippe, who tells Nicole the only invalid here is her. A few days later, Diane goes for a walk with Alexander and they come across a child wearing the same sweater Diane had bought, which gives away where she got it. Later at Alexander's house, he explains he isn't mad, but Diane is still nervous and embarrassed. She doesn't understand how Alexander doesn't hate being short, so he explains this is all he knows, and perhaps he would have hated it if he had been tall first and then shrunk. Diane admits she feels loved when she's with him, that she's learned a lot and that she would love to live together, but she can't. Feeling betrayed after he had been told he should keep believing in them.